Hey there, this is Gareth Hines, and I am the creator of the new Graceling graphic novel, adapted from the wonderful, wonderful fantasy novel by Kristen Kishore. And this is going to be a look at the process of how I created this book, particularly the hybrid workflow I used to create the illustrations. So most of the panels in Graceling were drawn on my iPad or on my desktop using a Cintiq. And I found that I actually was able to create a set of brushes that worked well on both of those devices interchangeably. Now, this page that you're watching me do is actually one of the first pages I drew, and so I'm writing little notes about the brushes alongside the drawings so that I can figure out which ones I used later. And I thought I would show that because it's a nice little look into the evolution of the style. So I actually redrew some of the panels on this page for the final. And then the next thing that I did after I drew it digitally is I printed it out on an inkjet printer on watercolor paper, 140-pound cold press watercolor paper. I taped it onto my light table. Very important, I drew registration marks on the corners of the page. And then when I turn on the light table, I can see the line work underneath it, and I can paint a very simple watercolor value painting of the shadows, keeping it nice and simple. And then I throw that on my scanner. I scan that watercolor painting. I go into Photoshop, and then I drop that painting back onto the line art. And you can also see there's flat colors here. I actually hired a flatter to the flat colors, dropped my watercolor on top, scaled it so that the corners all lined up and so that the painting lined up. Then I bring in another watercolor texture that I created separately using traditional watercolor on paper. And then on separate layers, I added additional coloring such as the bruises and the dirt on Katza and Poe because they've just been fighting, and then the sort of lighting pass. And then lastly, I do the panel borders and the speech balloons digitally in InDesign. So that is Graceling, the graphic novel, coming November 16th, 2021, from HarperCollins Children's Books. And thank you for watching.